This episode of Twin Speaks contains spoilers.
Hello, welcome to Twin Speaks First Watch, First Listen of Outlaw King, starring Chris Pine, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Florence Pugh, Billy Howell, and Tony Kieran. Directed by David Mackenzie, written by David Mackenzie, Bathsheba? Oh, I'm sorry. Duran, James McInnes, Mark Bombach, and David Harrower. I did
sniffle during the intro.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, okay.
There's like 5 writers. Do you think that's any indication of the messiness? That like a lot of the reviews before, not my review, but the other reviews that we're getting.
Sending mixed signals here. No, yeah. I don't think so.
You
you can literally edit a word.
I might edit all
and because of no. Okay, what? You can edit a word in a script, and because of the way that like writers union, whatever it is,
yeah,
you get credit for it.
Oh, really? Isn't it like a certain amount of... Isn't it like
yes. No, I don't know. Could be, yeah.
All right,
yes, well, I think so.
I'm your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter, @KidCombo, and I'm, of course, joined by my twin brother and co-host. You can find him on social media, @Andemonium. Between now and the last time you were on, you went to the Northwest Territories.
It makes it sound like I was in the North for like 3 weeks.
He was camping. He was shooting some buffalo. Bison. Just taking the Red Dead experience to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I literally the entire time I was there, I bet I was like, if I was dressed like my character, I'd be fine.
With a buffalo hat.
Yeah. And
the white bison hat, yeah.
And the big jacket.
Yeah.
If I could ride a horse.
Oh my god. Yeah. So you were out there. You were there for what? A week?
4 days. 5 days. Yeah.
5 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Eh?
You asked me a question. I was answering. I told you.
I thought you'd go.
Yes, 4 days. I don't know what. Yeah. Okay. Like I don't really want to like say what I was doing because I was
some illegal
teaching.
Stuff.
I was yeah. We did see a drug smuggling van.
Oh, cool.
And like the rationale for the guy who was like showing me around, he said basically because they didn't wave back, he said that they were drug smugglers.
Okay.
They were in an unmarked white van driving the ice road, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Blending in.
Yeah, with all the other unmarked vans.
No, I meant with the snow because it was white.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay. Yeah. That was kind of my segue in the beginning was just to kind of
segue to what?
Not segue. Sorry, prompt.
Did you hear? But, there's movies being filmed in the North.
Some news. Okay, well, yeah.
I don't think you know what segue means.
We watched The Outlaw King. Is on Netflix. It was a good movie.
It was good.
Are we done?
I liked it.
Okay, let's do some news first because it's been like 2 weeks since we did an episode, and
yeah,
when we had George on, most of that news was news to her, which was great.
Most of it was not just news to her, but it was like news about. It was just as if she had never heard anything about anybody ever before. It was just news. Like it was just like she was being blown every time. You said something, there was like interesting, and then like an unrelated anecdote. She'd be like, hey, or you'd be like, oh, there's like this new, like maybe it's a Toy Story thing, and she's like, well, I've never seen that, but I do like Tom Hanks and Big. Like that'd be like the exact same thing.
I liked it though. I thought it was good. She was a good co-host. Filling in for you. Okay. She's listening to this afterwards, so I have to make sure that I cover my bases. I don't know. So obviously the biggest news is Stan Lee has died at the age of 95. Yeah, I mean, he's been involved with like the Marvel stuff. Probably the big reason that the Marvel stuff has sort of become so popular as it has been. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
I don't think he really had anything to do with the movie.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think he had anything to do with anything.
being made at
beyond
all.
that. Yeah. Well, what?
He's just a figurehead.
He is.
He
He's
was
like,
there's a bunch of people in the back just drawing comics, and
Well,
then
he
he was
was
like, I'm gonna put them under my name.
wow.
Never mind.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, jeez. You got something you want to bring up over there? or
No.
what?
Pass.
He obviously is like responsible for so much of that stuff, but I don't think he had anything to do with the movies outside of like creating the character. So like, fine, he had everything to do with everything.
Do you have a favorite cameo?
Yeah, the one where he was in How I Met Your Mother. When they like pan to him and then he's like this didn't happen.
Okay. That was good though.
You gave me way too much of your attention and I didn't know what to do with it.
I didn't want to interrupt you because I wanted to see how far you were gonna go with it. I liked him in like the newer ones. So like in the Thor Ragnarok where he's like wearing like the crazy costume.
Yeah.
That one's
Or
good.
there's the one where he's playing he's in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and he's like leaning out the window yelling about like old man stuff.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
What's another one? There's the one where he's like listening to headphones during the other Spider-Man.
Same one, and he's like a librarian.
Yeah, right.
Or sorry, that's the
that's the new
Andrew Garfield. No, he's
was that
fighting.
then?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
fighting.
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's during the scene where he's fighting the lizard.
one. Yeah, true. What are some other ones?
Well, he was
He's
like
in
he
Guardians,
was hanging out
yeah.
with the Watchers.
Oh yeah, right.
That was the biggest like.
That was the coolest
one.
one.
What is he then?
Yeah, that one was neat.
I bet he's a Skrull.
Do you think so? Because he's all.
They've already filmed that. I feel he's everywhere. So like.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be cool.
But why would he choose the same body? Okay, well, never mind.
Do you have a favorite Stan Lee created character?
Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, that was like more Steve Ditko, but like, yeah.
Co-created. Yeah. I'd say maybe like Black Panther. I quite like the whole comic book
The
Black Panther
origins of
and just like the costume and like how they get their power, like the whole thing. I really like that. Daredevil's cool too.
Yeah, but I don't think that Black Panther was.
He co-created Black Panther.
No, I know, but like a lot of that was added after.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because like Wakanda was not. Like there's like this, there's like a TV show, like the old TV show with the Fantastic Four in it. They go to Wakanda, and it's really weird because he's like, Wakanda's almost like this weird, almost like a different planet.
Oh.
So all the buildings look like giant metal mushrooms. And it's really weird. He's got like a whole bunch of different powers and shit. But like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that's been added, like about his lore, I think is more recent.
Interesting.
But I don't know.
Because I read a few of those books.
None of the things I say on this podcast should be quoted.
Yeah. Fact checked.
We need a fact check. No, we don't.
No,
if we did a
hate
fact
that,
check. Yeah.
I am 100% if your podcast has a fact check at the end of it, I am not listening.
I never listened to it. We're talking about Dak Shepard's podcast.
Well, there's that
I
one.
never listened to the fact check.
But then there's that Little Dum Dum Club.
They do fact check on that one?
Sort of. They have like a thing where they like, it's like as long as the actual interviews.
Oh.
And then it's just them with another person. Like it's usually like a friend talking about the episode or like talking about the person or like things they have come up. And I find it so boring.
Oh, it's like a plug.
It's kind of like a plug, but then they talk about like their Patreon and stuff, and like they'll read out people's names, and I just find it so irritating. I cannot do it. No way. Anyway, want to move on to some other news?
Really strong
Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
Trailer has been released. I don't know. Watching this was like a weird experience.
This is a trip.
Yeah.
I honestly would have rathered. Okay, what was the original Hellboy's the actor's name?
Ron Perlman?
If instead of Ryan Reynolds, it was Ron Perlman, I would have been
wild.
so much. If it was like a deep voice, you know, like there's the baby. Okay, so they're like in The Simpsons. Hold on, in The Simpsons, when they go to Bronson, I think it's Bronson, Missouri, or something like that, and all the characters, all the like people from this Bronson all look and sound the same. Like there's the one and he goes, "Hey Ma, how about a cookie?" And she goes, "No dice." And he goes, "This ain't over." if Detective Pikachu sounded more like that, like he had this like deep voice, and it was like it kind of, because it's Ryan Reynolds, it's goofy and it's just the way that he like voices things, but like that would have made me laugh so much more, and it would have been way more ridiculous
if it was like a hard-boiled detective voice, instead of like it was like Orson Welles.
If it was like Danny Glover from like any Danny Glover movie. Yeah. If it was Danny Glover that played Detective Pikachu.
It was like Orson Welles and like The Third Man or whatever that movie's called. Like anybody with a deep voice.
Yeah,
I think that would have been better.
Not that this is bad. I actually like think this is really weird, and I'm kind of into how weird it is.
Who did the voice for Ted from those movies?
Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, it was. Of course. Yeah. That's what this seemed like, and obviously, like that's
probably what they're going for.
That's the immediate comparison. Blah blah blah. But I honestly could not watch that without thinking, oh, it's like it's just he's talking to like an animated thing. Like
I'm not against it. I actually like this trailer got like a weird response, and I actually I'm into it. I thought it was great.
I don't know. I was so weirded out.
That's why I liked it though.
Yeah. I kind of think that's maybe I'm obviously gonna see it. I think it's the fucking weirdest thing in the world.
The scene where he's like, he can't understand me, and then they like pan to what they're hearing, and he's just going Pika Pika. He's like, see, he's coming. He doesn't know anything I'm saying. I thought that was great. I was like, this guy's either schizophrenic, and he's just imagining Ryan Reynolds' voice speaking through Pikachu.
That would be great if that was the twist. At the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a serious mental issue, man.
Like the film ends with him, or maybe he's in a coma.
He's imagining all of it.
Yeah. Or it's like stress induced from his father dying.
Oh,
schizophrenia.
God. And then Pikachu is just like a stuffed Pikachu. It's like a plush toy, and he's in a mental hospital. And he's just laying in the bed. Be like any art student film ever. Yeah. That would be great. I would almost like it more if that was it. Probably not, but I'd like to say that.
I haven't even seen this yet, so like.
Anyway, it stars Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, Justin Smith, Catherine Newton, and Ken Watanabe. Directed by Rob Letterman, who directed Shark Tale and Monsters vs. Aliens.
I thought he was Shark Boy.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And Goosebumps.
Yeah, Ken Watanabe is the only name or person I recognize in that movie.
Big name, yeah.
Big-ish name, yeah.
He's
in the new King. He's in the new Godzilla movie, or was in the Godzilla movie. And
he always plays like a scientist or something.
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know who Justice I don't know any Smith of those is. People. Yeah, me either. But yeah, I don't know. Looks trippy. Kind of wild. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Toy Story 4 has released a teaser trailer. It's just like them in a if you haven't seen it, it's just them in a walking
ring around the road.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I was like ring, what is that? And then like they trip and then they start falling on each other.
Well, they trip because one of the handmade toys has like an existential crisis on being a toy. That is such a weird. That I don't know how I feel about a toy. Like not being okay. This is like if we were to like reanimate animals.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like would they not like it? Like this toy is like I don't want to be here. I don't like being a toy.
It's weird because like I feel like they're too deep to make like
man.
All of a sudden it all falls apart if the toys are like holy fuck we are toys. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like it was.
Is this trippier than Detective?
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking that too. Both of these have me like. Wild and outright, I do not know. Like that was such a weird thing to see. I don't know. I'm freaking out, man.
I like that he just kind of looked like a turd with arms.
Yeah, it's like there was really no effort in putting into this.
No, well, that's probably the point. They're like, yeah, like they probably just brought in an animator's kid. They gave him a bunch of stuff, and instead of doing that, he just like put together some slime or Play-Doh, and he just stuck arms on it. Yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah. Key and Peele are going to be in it.
Yeah.
they had their own like little short. So after the teaser got released, like they had like another sort of thing where it's like the two characters, they're Ducky and Bunny, and they're just stuffed ducks and Ducky or Duck and Bunny.
Oh my god.
I'm struggling today. And they're just like at a carnival. They're like sitting on this thing, and they're just riffing. And it's like it's not even like a character riff. It's like Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Being Key and Peele riffing, and it's awesome.
I feel like
it's great.
This is the exact same as getting Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen in the new Lion King.
And just like getting them to
like
talk.
it was like they auditioned and they were like, well, like let's get them in there in some capacity.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't really like add anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it was really funny. Like it was like it totally worked. Like they were kind of making fun of Buzz Lightyear and Woody. Which is weird to think about. They're like, and they actually say they're like, oh, there's another Toy Story coming out.
What the fuck?
And they're like, oh, like I thought they were done making those, and they're like, no, there's a fourth one coming out. And it's like,
really self-aware.
This is like awareness is not good for me. I don't know. Anyway, that comes out. They have a release for it though. It's June 21st, 2019.
Oh, it is 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, wild. Right.
So kind of neat that they actually have a date, and
they're trying to benefit off of Red Dead.
Oh god!
By releasing this teaser so close to that, everybody's cowboy crazy back there. People just want to see cowboys and everything.
Oh,
Detective Pikachu wears a cowboy hat.
That'd be great.
No, he is in that trailer.
What?
Yeah,
he has a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, it's not even Detective Pikachu. I don't know why you said that. It's Sheriff Pikachu.
Okay. I think our apartment has a ghost.
A ghost?
It's unrelated, but I'm feeling sketched out right now, and I want to just tell everybody that I think our apartment has a ghost. The heat keeps getting turned on. The lights are flickering. This bottle cap flew off my beer. Like, oh, it's
the beer you don't have.
No, this is like a few days ago.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't have a beer on me. The one time. Yeah, moving on. Did you watch that trailer for Roma?
What?
Roma?
No.
Did you see that one?
Said robot. I was like,
so there's a trailer for the new Alfonso Cuarón. I think I'm saying that right, actually. Who did Gravity and Children of Men. He's got like a new movie for Netflix, and it looks. I watched it before. It looks unbelievable. Like it's one of the most beautiful trailers I've ever seen. Like the thing, it's all in black and white.
Oh.
And it all happens in like a very sort of linear. And I mean that in the way that it's styled. So you just sort of see things at eye level, and it kind of just pans sideways.
Oh, that's cool.
But the entire movie's kind of like that.
Oh.
And then like the trailer was like super well made because all of a sudden like the music starts going in, and it's all in Mexico.
Oh, that's cool.
And the way that, and obviously like I sort of just read the synopsis here, and I have it here too. A story that chronicles a tumultuous year in the life of a middle-class family in Mexico City in the early 1970s. It's going to have an exclusive limited theatrical release on November 21st.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then Netflix on December 14th.
Yeah, there's a handful that we're doing like early.
I think it's like
Netflix's
Netflix's thing, yeah. But this movie looks unbelievable. Cool. Like I was sort of getting emotional. What I was going to say is it's a very much, it seems like he's got now all the power. Like it's written, produced, directed, everything's done by him.
Oh, okay.
And it feels like, okay, like he's got the, he's done Children of Men, which was like, between that and Gravity, it was like 10 years.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking.
He's got the belief now from like studios and Netflix where it feels like he can sort of make the passion project that he wanted to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this movie looks, like I am not sort of being hyperbolic here. Like it looks unbelievable, and it was almost an emotional trip just watching the trailer.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was going to say live watch it.
99% right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has what?
99%.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it looks... Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah. Not the trailer.
Oh. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to be unbelievable. Like, it looks just... The style of it, like, the tone, like, it looks awesome.
That's cool.
Really cool. Okay, so moving on. I just really wanted to talk about that because I saw it, and I saw a few articles now that are coming out about it. Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese's sixth movie, which we talked about before, is now officially Killing of the Flower Moon.
Right.
And that's that one that's based off the book of the same name. But they're set to start filming in 2019, which means could be a Oscar movie.
Oh.
So say they film summer 2019, goes for a couple months, and then they get it out by the end of the year. I would assume that it'd more be 2020, but I don't know. Could be cool. But
I'm just looking at the book synopsis.
Killing of the Flower Moon.
The Birth of the FBI. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
The same guy wrote The Lost City of Zed, Tale
sick.
of Deadly Obsession of. That's the one that what's his face, Tom Holland and
yeah,
dude
right.
from
You and I watched that.
and that. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Yeah, it's the same author. Sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm very interested, and that's like their sixth.
Wait, did you say this
movie
is Netflix?
together? No, I don't think so.
Because isn't there another Scorsese movie that's coming out on Netflix?
The Irishman.
Yeah,
was that what it's called?
Yeah,
something like that. But that one will be pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to see like that they have now a relationship. You know, like obviously it's not just now because it's their sixth movie, but it's very similar to sort of the De Niro relationship that they had, and it's kind of cool to see it like progressing as Scorsese's getting older, and like he has sort of a new person to attach himself with.
There was
it's just cool to be around when it's happening.
I watched those like GQ interviews with like actors going through like their roles and stuff. And there's one with Jonah Hill and he's like talking about Scorsese and stuff. But this actually has nothing to do with him. But in it, he like every actor or every director or writer or whatever he talks about, he always says like, oh, that's like my favorite person, or like that's the funniest person. So they get to talking about this is the end, and they're like, and he goes, yeah, like the idea was that we were all going to be like versions of ourselves on just like, but elevated or whatever it was. And the scene that they play was when he goes like, he's talking to Jay Baruchel and he goes, boy, are my arms tired? And he goes, that's so funny, Jay. That's the funniest thing. And I was like, this is not a version of you. This is you, dude. Yeah. Like watching this interview, I'm like, this is just you. This is just how you talk.
He seems self-aware now, and
he's not. He isn't self-aware though.
Like, he was self-aware from the movie, but then just it all flew back in.
Yeah, apparently he just like he is that
Mr. Positive.
He is the most positive person I know.
That's kind of cool, though.
Joking, Pat. Come on. Stay with it. Come on.
That's nice. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
good for him.
He is the nicest person I know. Nobody's funnier than him.
How long have you known Jonah?
I've known him for
Double J? JH?
No.
Mr. Hill?
I call him
Hank?
Jonah Yell.
Jonah Hill?
Jonah Yell.
Nice. Good one.
All right, moving on. What am I doing here?
Godzilla versus King Kong. Production has begun. There's an official synopsis.
How many names?
Do you want to know it?
What? Why did you say King Kong like 5 times?
Because I wrote it down. It says Godzilla versus Kong.
Kong.
People have tuned out by now. Do you want? Yeah, there's a synopsis now from the studio. So it says, in a time when monsters walk the earth, humanity's fight for its future sets Godzilla and Kong on a collision course that will see the two most powerful forces of nature on the planet collide in a spectacular battle of the ages. As Monarch embarks on a perilous mission into uncharted terrain and unearths clues to the Titan's origins, a human conspiracy threatens to wipe the creatures, both good and bad, from the face of the earth forever.
Why did you read all of it? But whatever, okay, fine. It makes it sound like this is a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, the
King Kong in his own car. versus Godzilla, and Monarch is
Driving its a helicopter.
just keeping an eye on things. This is Death Race, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Throwing grenades.
Like
He's
the way
throwing
this
bombs
where
out
it's
from
a
the sky.
collide, it makes it sound like they're just gonna like race. Like, Mario
One's got a
Kart.
tank, the other one's got a motorcycle.
Mario Kart, King Kong versus Godzilla.
That'd be great. I don't know. It sounds cool though.
The new one looks fine or great, so like I'm excited for it. Well, I guess I can't decide.
It looks fine and good.
Great. Yeah, I think this would be it'd be neat. I don't know how involved Monarch is in this. Like, how does that work? Because like, is King Kong doesn't I don't know what happened there. Is King Kong like the King Kong movie, like whatever it was a few years ago, that takes place like really far in the past, and he's supposed to like be pretty young in that movie. So like, does this new Godzilla King of the Monsters happen? Like, so like King Kong versus Godzilla, when does that movie take place?
I have no idea.
Before Godzilla, before King Kong, or Godzilla King of Monsters, or is it after that?
I thought it was going to happen before because
I don't know what the
King Kong
timeline's
movie
like.
happens, Kong Island or whatever. That one
Happens
happens
like, it's like a prequel. Like,
yeah. So I'd assume that it sort of happens between maybe the two.
No.
But I don't know.
No.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know when. Yeah, I think that one for sure takes place before all of them.
Yeah.
But like, when does King Kong versus Godzilla happen? It has to happen, I guess, after.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe.
It's kind of a confusing timeline.
It's
I'm
almost
assuming
as
that the
if
new Godzilla
we
is sort of
don't
going to
know.
shine some stuff on it.
Yeah, probably.
And we'll sort of figure out what's going on. Because like that one's supposed to be like the intro to the monster Titan stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a few other things on here, but they're kind of short. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot added 6 more projects. I can only imagine that's probably like due to Overlord's success.
Overlord success, and then people forgetting about Cloverfield
The other
Paradox.
shitty Clover. Yeah.
The rest of them were good. Cloverfield Lane, Cloverfield,
Yeah.
Overlord.
Pretty intense.
That's a pretty good track record.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I like Bad Robot. Usually they produce pretty interesting stuff.
Yep. Different.
James Cameron's Avatar sequels have all wrapped production to come out December 2020 and 21. 2021. 2020. 2021. And David Harbour has joined Chris Hemsworth in Russo Brothers produced action movie Dakka, which is being directed by the guy who did the stunt coordinating for Avengers 3 and then was Captain America's stunt double.
Yeah, I saw this. Well, he's
This is
Captain
like
America's stunt double.
directorial
He's
debut.
Daredevil's stunt double too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's sweet. And like,
So
I
it'll
like
be
that. There's
pretty
like
cool
two.
movie.
I've seen images of like from Chris Hemsworth Instagram and then his Instagram of them filming like right now.
Yeah.
Looks cool. It looks different. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
That'd be cool. I'm happy to see David Harbour and more stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it for news, unless you got something
zoomed
else.
through the last little bit there.
Sorry?
You zoomed through the last little bit there.
Yeah. Mostly because we're already at half an hour.
Yeah.
Because we spent a lot of time riffing on some other stuff. And I was like, man, I'll zoom through
that's
this.
just what this podcast. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, do you want to just get into the movie then? That's
Yep.
my segue. I'm
Yeah.
acting like we didn't just pause. Okay, so obviously, spoiler alert. But this is for Outlaw King, starring Chris Pine. What?
I was trying to yawn.
You
Get
were, like,
the fuck
yawning?
off my back.
Yawning and smiling at the same time.
I was just yawning. Here, you happy? God.
Okay.
Came back all grouchy or suspicious. Man.
The Outlaw King, starring Chris Pine, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Florence Pugh, Billy Howell, and Tony Curran, directed by David Mackenzie. Don't need to go through all the writers because there's a hell of a lot of them. I don't really care that much.
Yep.
Yeah. What did you think? So basically, this movie is
liked it.
it like I sort of read a bunch of stuff about it being the unofficial sequel to Braveheart.
Yeah.
because it happens
So
after Braveheart ends.
This is almost like the 0.5 sequel, because I think Braveheart's almost happening at the same time at some point. Or it's like it kind of like Braveheart ends. I'm holding up my hands to try and but I'm realizing now as I'm thinking through it, I'm like, they can't see this. The 3 people that are listening. No, so I think like Braveheart ends, and then but like this movie starts kind of near the end of it, not quite at the end, but then so there is some overlap.
Okay,
I think.
Yeah,
because there is a point where they do sort of acknowledge it,
and it's
going back. I did like this movie.
Yeah,
I think this movie. I read a comment that was like, why do movies have to be either trash or
with Netflix
or a like Oscar worthy masterpiece?
Yeah.
I think this is fine. This is good. This was like this to me scratched that itch of like a medieval type movie, and like we haven't had in a while. And I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna look at it later. And there's definitely
basically,
but like I like this.
The synopsis basically is that it's Robert the Bruce.
Yeah.
And he leads
Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah.
Du Bruce.
And he like leads a sort of a guerrilla group of Scotland, like, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Nobles?
Separatists.
Oh.
Like, they don't want to be a part of the British Empire anymore.
Well, no, they're not separatists, because at this point, Scotland is still separate. Nationalists,
yes,
maybe.
That's it. Sorry.
Because King Edward of Wales is governing Scotland.
Yeah.
And in the name of the English Empire.
Yeah, and he was supposed to give power back, and then they were like, nah, like we.
So instead, he kind of just tried to appease them by giving them pieces of it back.
Yeah.
And that pisses off Taylor Johnson's character.
Yeah. So really, that's all you need to know about this movie is that this, and it is like very much explained pretty.
It's really brisk in the beginning.
I don't know what this movie's about. It does. Okay, well, let me tell you. And
I think
it goes in like maybe the first 15 minutes.
I actually really liked the opening of it. I think the opening was great because it was shot like a one shot.
Oh yeah,
where they sort of like tail him a bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, and I thought it gave good insight to King Edward as well, and it also sort of introduces a whole flurry of characters. Like there's
everybody
just a whole bunch of people, and they're like, here they all are. You'll see more of them throughout the movie, but this is them right now, and you don't need to know a ton because they're kind of like he's royalty, he is royalty, or not even like royalty, but like royal lineage, and they're like, okay, these are all these guys. These two people don't really like each other, but they know each other pretty well, and then it just kind of goes from there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is brisk after that. Like it does cook along.
It picks up like
so and quickly. I don't know if I was crazy about that, and then it settles when they get chased out of that forest by the French guy, the bald guy.
Yeah, that's right.
When he like ambushes them. After that, it settles, I think. And I think that part of the movie was better because then you start going, all right, they're accepting that they're not going to have a 50,000 troop army.
Yep.
They're accepting that they're just going to have like 70 guys plus a couple more, and that's all they're going to be able to do. And he's struggling to like recruit people. And I think that part of the movie is where, like, when they meet Angus's family again, is when it really does get better for me. Not that I didn't like it at the beginning. I think it was just like it was a lot to try and grab onto.
Yeah, it felt like it was like, here's all the information that you need to have. We're gonna really like throw it at you.
Yeah.
If it sticks, then that's great for the rest of the movie. You'll be in fine form. But then, if it doesn't, then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Because like there's like it shows what the relationships are, who the families are. Yeah. Like you said,
there was a lot of brothers to keep track of. That's like one of my complaints is that
what you said were it settles after the forest. You actually do figure out who the brothers are after the forest.
Yeah, totally. You're right. Because he even makes a comment about
like everybody there.
He makes a comment about two of his brothers die because Taylor Johnson's character, I forgot what his name was in the movie. It's
James Douglas.
James Douglas, yes. Yeah, on Wikipedia, he's the Black Knight.
Yeah.
Or Black Douglas or something like that.
At the very end of the movie, they're like, everybody called him Black Douglas after that or something. I was like, fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah, he, Chris Pine's character makes a comment about not losing another brother. So they sort of, they're like, all right, this is who's left.
Yeah.
This is who you need to care about. Because at the beginning, I think and you're right, it's intentional. They're like, here's his brothers. You don't really need to know who's who. Or a couple of these guys die.
If they're even really related by blood. There were a couple in his little
noble circle
that are actually his brothers.
Yeah, I thought they all were.
Look it up afterward, and they were and it was the Bruce, and a couple of them were actually named Bruce.
I actually thought they all were.
But then it was I didn't realize that until he says that thing about with Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, and he goes, I can't lose another brother, be careful. And I'm like, oh, got it. Okay, so they're not all his brothers.
So I think there was 2 left.
Yeah.
There was Aaron Taylor Johnson, James Douglas, and then there was
the
Angus.
Guy.
Angus.
Yeah, Angus.
Yeah, okay. They were sick. So I really liked the lead up to that when they even go to the church, and the Scottish church is like, if we don't hurry this along, and then they're gonna come back and they're gonna fuck us up.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, let's go to Scone, and then they they're like, okay, here's the Pope. Yeah, he really likes you. Let's go. And then that was it. And then crown him and everything. I was like, when I was watching, I was like, is that it? Do I just have to convince a Pope to crown me?
Well, and it was kind of interesting because it kind of shows that all these people were sort of thinking this already, and they just needed someone to do it.
They just needed it to be official. Yeah.
So to make it official. But because then they go to Scone. I really like that whole sort of sequence of when they're crowning them and the celebration, and it's sort of mirrored.
Apparently, a lot of this movie is improvised.
It doesn't really surprise me because there's back to the opening scene with the sword fight. I was like, this isn't a choreographed sword fight.
No, I don't think so.
It was they were told to maybe pause a few times, and maybe they practiced a few times before. But I think in the nature of it being one sequence, they weren't let's not put so much time in this because you're not going to get it right.
Yeah, it's kind of the way that they go to elbow each other, go to punch each other, and they stop, and then they kind of giggle about it and stuff.
Yeah, and you kind of go, okay, well, they've both obviously been drinking. That's sort of a believable factor of this. But yeah, I kind of found it more impressive that it was improvised.
Yeah.
Because it's not really a movie that lends itself to being improvised.
I don't know if it's... I think it's because it's a historical movie. It's a little trickier to improvise.
You almost want to follow the script more so in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think of his Chris Pine's accent?
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
it does fade a couple times in the movie, but I do really like it.
Maybe not fade, but blends. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. He goes into
No,
I think he goes into English.
Yeah, right.
A little bit. I liked a lot of the characters. I think when they start doing actual guerrilla warfare, when they were planning that shit, it did kind of come out of nowhere. They do lead into it a little bit by going okay, we have to use the bog. They don't know the Scottish land like we do. I'm like, okay, that's great.
Cool.
And then they're showing digging the trenches. I'm like, all right, great. But at the same time, they don't really lend to him knowing a lot of this stuff.
No, yeah.
And I almost would have rather that they did more of that, and maybe that got cut because a lot of it did get cut apparently.
Yeah, but even just to show him at a battle, he's at a map, and he's going,
he's going
it's pretty boggy there.
Yeah,
let's make sure we dig there or something.
No, not really, even like that. I'm thinking more just giving him, setting him up as a character who has military knowledge.
Oh, okay, sure.
Looking at a map was basically what he did.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for him to know that, Yeah, and maybe that was just him being some ingenuity type thing.
Maybe it's just him talking to the other people who
then show
know
that.
It. Yeah, so we would need some sort of information to show, or to know that he's gone to those lengths.
Yeah, exactly.
But they just showed him digging the trenches with.
Yeah, I thought that was but that lended to his character because that had already been established that he was a man of the people.
Yeah,
and
because they're where is the king? And he's down there.
He's not really he wasn't, and I think that's because he almost falls into that position even from the beginning of the movie. He clearly is just trying to do what's best for his brothers, his family, and the Scottish
The
people.
people that he cares about, yeah.
Yeah, so like even when he's like wandering through and they killed Wallace and they're hanging the body parts up, he like is in with the people, and I thought that was a really good like way of suggesting like he's not really royalty. Like he's not riding through the city going like
and nobody
bow
seemed to
down to
notice
me.
him, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's just married one of the biggest sort of connections in all of England, and nobody seemed to really like be like, hey, that's Robert De Bruce. Like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, because then they were like, we should fight back. Like, they're killing people. And they were like, nah, we can't. Like,
this isn't really our thing. Yeah, we can't.
This isn't really our place to do it.
Yeah. I like that stuff. But yeah, I think I really like the actors that were in this movie.
Yes.
I think
Angus was great.
Angus was fantastic and really funny.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Chris Pine was great and just good at looking like he really didn't know what was going on the entire time.
Yeah, totally.
And Aaron Taylor Johnson as like this crazy Black Douglas character who like he's really fucking
unbelievable.
Weird. Okay, so like I was looking at the Wikipedia after this.
I think he was my favorite part of this entire movie.
Yeah, me too.
He was just so
because
intense.
it was very like he was very intense, but it was very over the top, and I actually kind of like thought that worked in a sense. Like it did kind of give it that more fantasy feel, even though it was more. This is more biographical than anything else, but him just being kind of this like murderous lunatic who like almost single-handedly won a lot of these battles.
And the thing is, I think he had the most to gain, but also the least amount to lose.
Yes, exactly. He had already lost everything, so he's going into this just going like, I'm really hoping that Robert like holds his end up the deal, and like throughout the movie when he goes like you're like basically implies that he's his brother, you can see him kind of go, oh shit, all right, sweet, yeah,
like I belong to something now.
Yeah.
Because it was funny because like he being how intense he was super believable. Yeah. Because you were like, oh, he has nothing.
He's
like,
been
this is pretty much all he's got.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really like that.
He's getting like royally, like literally, screwed over through it. Thank you you didn't acknowledge it at all, and you were like, yep.
I laughed.
No, you didn't.
In my head.
Yeah. I was like, we're literally recording this. There is actual proof that you did not laugh.
That was funny.
Well, yeah. So like, I think that he like was so screwed over in like everything that he was just so intense. Mm-hmm. I loved when he goes and takes Castle Douglas back, or what's it called? It's like something. It's like a play on word on Douglas.
Yeah,
Douglas. Anya.
It was something weird like
Transylvania, but Douglas. Castle Douglas.
Canada.
I don't know. In the United Arab Douglas. Camp Douglas.
But he was such a cool character, and I feel like he developed sort of the most. Although it felt like there was one whole storyline with him and Angus's daughter or sister.
Daughters.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if that was supposed to be. I don't think intentionally.
Know if there was really supposed to be too much.
I think it was just sort of like.
It was like, like they're settling in, like he's gonna be, and then they were
that
like,
seemed almost like
go.
out of
we
character.
have to leave now, and they're like, okay, like interrupted.
Yeah, I actually thought that was kind of out of character.
It did feel a little because he seemed like he was very focused.
Yeah, even when there was the scene where before they get ambushed, and he's just training.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, like that's what he does in his free time. I didn't really believe that he'd be like wooing people. Mm-hmm. He doesn't seem like a woman wooer. He doesn't seem like any wooer, really. Well, I think he's wooer-esque.
God. I was like trying to interrupt you. And
I know.
Like,
it wasn't letting you. I know you were trying to. I knew you were trying to interrupt me.
But then, like, even the part with him when he's training with Angus.
Yeah.
And he like kisses Angus.
That
and I was like,
again out of character. Yeah,
no, that seemed in character because he was like he seems so sort of unhinged that isn't something that other people would have done.
Oh.
So him to do that, it was sort of like, oh yeah, no, I can believe that because he is kind of crazy. He's sort of insane. Like he's thinking about things in a different way than other people are thinking about it. So that's why they were all kind of like laughing, and Angus is like, what the fuck? Like get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought he was, Aaron Taylor Johnson was unbelievable. And like, he had maybe the most graphic killing parts. He would just like hit people with rocks, and like he had like a chainmail helmet, and he like filled it with a rock, and he was like hitting at people.
He wrapped it around his hand.
Oh yeah, and he's just like punching people with it.
He was hitting
stuff.
people, and then he wrapped it around his head and started punching people with it.
Yeah,
I
that
thought it
was
so sick.
unreal.
Yeah.
And then he's got like he had like a knife, and he was like swinging with his like backhand, like
Yeah, he was like
people.
using a knife in one hand, and then he was using a sword in the other, and he was just like dual wielding, fighting through people.
Yeah, he was so cool.
Yeah, he had a lot of really cool like fight scenes, and I actually thought near the end of that movie he was gonna die.
I did too.
I went into this movie not looking up any of this stuff, and
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna die. I thought Angus was gonna die, and I thought he was gonna die, Robert.
Yeah,
But no, they like the ending. I didn't love the ending where he just like lets the
leave.
prince go, or I guess the king, but like he just kind of lets him go after like beating the shit out of him.
yeah.
And like I get that character kind of having like a meltdown because he kind of like builds himself up to be this tough guy, and this is like a moment where he realizes that when he probably doesn't even realize that, but he just has like this meltdown. I was like, just kill him. Like, why are you letting him go? But again, this is a movie that's dictated by history. So like if they were to if they were to kill him, like maybe they thought about that too, and they're like, why did they like let him go?
Yeah.
Like maybe writers even had that thought, but you don't know.
But it was kind of a confusing thing because I felt like killing him would have just ended it.
Yeah.
So,
But maybe,
I
don't know.
But then
maybe
they were like,
just,
all this stuff
explaining
happened,
that.
and they ended up getting their independence, and it was like, oh, okay, so it did work out. Like, okay, fine. I didn't. Well, I mean, you're obviously not meant to like him, but the prince, who Prince of Wales or whatever, the Red Dragon guy. I think he was great because I hated him.
Yeah, and that's
I
the
really
point,
didn't like
right?
him. Like
That's
I thought
the
he was
point.
such a great character, and he was so good at playing that character that I just hated him so much.
I did too. I was so annoyed by him.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off by him. He was just like over the top.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, you're kind of going, all right, well, if I felt that way, then he did a good job because that's exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like the dad, King Edward, was basically like, I have to do everything myself. My son's a piece of shit. Like, I can't trust him with anything. Even the French, I forgot what his name was, but the other guy, the bald guy, basically was like, this guy doesn't know anything. Like, I'm going to do everything. Like, when he was leading him through the flanks and stuff, he was like, what is he doing? And it was like, clearly he was just like, well, I'm not going to trust what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was great. I really liked that. I actually liked the bald guy, too. I think he was great.
Yeah,
he was like, interesting. It was good because I was like, well, he clearly thinks that he knows more than the prince.
Yeah.
And like he had that arrogance about him too.
Yeah, and now that the king's dead, he's like, I'm not going to listen to this idiot. Like, I'm going to do everything my own. But sort of adding to what you said, this movie, maybe its strongest suit was that it was extremely well acted.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly can't think of a single actor in that movie or someone that had a role where I went, that was just awful. That didn't line up at all.
Okay.
It
So
seemed like everybody was, for at least me, I thought everybody was, it was fantastic.
yeah, I agree because I think that if this, and maybe this is where some of the reviews come in too, is that if this was anybody else in these roles, it may not have I may have not hung in there as long as I did. Because I did finish this movie going like, I like that.
Yeah. Same.
If it was somebody else, I maybe couldn't have like hung along as long as I did because I think he did such a good job. Well, so many other characters did such a good job that you're kind of going like, all right, I could see that maybe this isn't as good if it's not them playing these characters.
Yeah.
I think this movie was incredibly well shot.
The colors
were
unbelievable.
And just the scenery and using a lot of the land and like seeing that and seeing where maybe some of these, I don't know if it was actually filmed in Scotland. I guess I could look.
There was actually a few shots where I was like, oh, that's like a tourist area. Like they've,
okay.
the one where they're walking through that kind of valley. I know that's where Skyfall was shot. There's like a scene in Skyfall where he's driven to that spot and he sort of gets out of his car and he's like standing there. I think that was shot there. It would be really cool if it was shot in Scotland.
Yeah, they began on August 28th, 2017 in both Scotland and England. That's cool.
Cool.
So
nice.
they took place in a lot of these like
historic areas.
That's really cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we were both aware of the reviews going into this movie. Sort of that it was like awful, but
it
like,
wasn't awful. It was
great.
like it was right in the middle of the road, and so it seemed like some people like it really was like it was almost 50-something%, wasn't it? Like
Sure.
it literally was
58 or something. Yeah.
like every other person liked this
Yeah.
and didn't like it. So
Yeah.
like I think I went into this with very tempered expectations. After
Same.
seeing the trailer like ages ago, I was really into this. But I think maybe that helped too. Is that like really like lowering my expectations going into this movie and being like, all right, this is actually pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, I 100% agree because I was going in thinking it was going to be crap and ended up really, really liking it.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. I did read a comment that said that some of the early scenes, sort of what you were talking about, for the first bit of the movie, really have no time to breathe.
No.
And I would agree because it does feel like it's a very fast pace. And if you can stay with the movie and that doesn't sort of irritate
Once I think you burn through that part, you're okay.
if that doesn't irritate you and you can actually stick with this movie, it's definitely worth it because
Yeah.
I really, really like the rest of it.
I think, side note too, watching a movie when it comes out on Netflix was kind of weird. I don't know
Very
if I
weird.
liked it. It
Yeah.
took, and like this is obviously true for like most movies, but because we like watch this movie for this podcast,
Yeah.
I had to find myself to like really focus. Like
Yeah.
it's interesting, like going to a theater and you sort of like sit down.
You're in the
and that's
dark
it. You're
room.
in the dark room. You're watching the movie, and that's all that's taking
Yeah.
place. This was different. Like sitting in and watching it at home. Like my
Yeah.
dog was there. Like Jill was there with me. So like I was pausing it to explain things, and then we rewatch it, or I'd pause it to let the dog out or feed her. So like it's a lot of other stuff going on. So like I don't think that had an effect on the movie because I did sort of like actively think about that before I watched it, going like,
And
okay,
maybe-
gotta pause it, make sure I'm not looking at my phone and stuff.
Yeah, and maybe what you did, what I did, whereas if you caught yourself looking at your phone, I rewound it.
Yeah, me too.
I would go,
did that
okay,
too.
well, I definitely didn't catch that part. So
Yeah.
I would like go
I did that
back,
a lot.
watch it through.
Which I will say was nice. So like
Yeah.
if this is not to say this is, but I think it is moving in a direction where if you watch movies release day from home, it was convenient. Like I did actually enjoy, I think at the end of it, being like, all right, like I don't have to commit 3 hours of my day. I can start watching this. If something happens, stop, do it, come back,
Watch it in
continue
2
watching
days.
it. Yeah, exactly.
cares?
Like
Yeah.
it was nice. Like I actually really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah.
So what would you give this?
But it's funny, like I was just watching it by myself, and I think about halfway through, maybe about 3/4 through, when stuff started like really ramping up, I was thinking like, oh yeah, this is like a pretty decent movie. This is a
Yeah.
movie that I would think I would go and tell people, like, hey, if you're looking for something to watch, go
Yeah.
watch Outlaw King.
Yeah,
like
totally.
it's free.
Yeah,
Like if
totally.
you got Netflix, it's free. Like go and watch it. It's a pretty decent 2
I think,
hours. Like,
especially right now, there's kind of a lull in
it does
movies.
feel like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like this is kind of like a nice in between.
Nice
Like it's
filler,
nothing
yeah.
special, but like it's good. I liked it.
And this is our first Netflix movie
Release,
that we've
yeah.
done
So
on
I
here.
think we'll do Coen Brothers.
Yeah,
next.
we'll do the Buster Scruggs one next. But yeah, back to my rating. I think I would give it a 5 out of 7. I did
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I was sort of not frustrated, not irritated or anything, but just I kind of wish the first parts of the movie got a little bit more time to breathe, like I read in that comment, just so that, I don't know, just so it would sort of simmer. But there was so many great things about this movie, like the color, the cinematography, the tone of the movie was great. It was serious without being over dramatic, and that's definitely a big thing for.
Yeah, I
obviously,
agree.
this
Actually,
sort of-
that's a good point. Is that like I don't think this movie took itself overly
No,
seriously.
yeah.
It knew what it was. It knew how to do it. I think how to explain it without sounding like, oh my god, the Scots are the best people in the world.
Yeah.
The English suck. It was
Yeah.
like very much like this is what happened. Make a decision based on yourself.
Yeah.
Like except for the Prince of Wales. That kid was an asshole.
Yeah, he sucked.
He sucked. And
Yeah.
there's popular opinion is he sucked.
He was bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think 5 out of 7 is good. I
yeah.
really enjoyed it. I really quite liked it. I think after I watched it, because I just watched it by myself, and I went, yeah, I actually really like this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a bad rap.
Well, I think because a lot of people saw it when
Read
it
the
came
stuff
out
when it
in
came out.
January.
Yeah.
So like it had been edited down a little
Yeah.
bit. I'd give it a 5 out of 7 as well.
Cool.
I think I really liked this, but like yeah, again, nothing special. I think it was a good in between movie if I'm comparing it to other stuff. But like yeah, I liked it. I think the acting was good, cinematography, costumes. I actually didn't mind the briskness of the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think only because I had the freedom deposit.
Yeah.
I think that did directly affect that.
I think it benefits sort of how quickly paced the beginning is. It benefits from being a Netflix movie.
Yes.
If you're sitting in a theater and you're going, holy shit, like this is really fast.
Then it's basically Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, and you're going, nah, this isn't that great. But if you're sitting there and you kind of got a few distractions and you can't fully put your attention into, or you don't know if you should put your full attention into it right away, it almost benefited the movie. Because I felt like I was like sitting there going like, I'm watching it, and then I would look at my phone and then be like, oh, I missed that part, rewound it. And it would be only like a scene that was maybe like 20 seconds long.
Yeah, exactly. But it helped.
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, you're right. Like, it does genuinely, like it just benefits from having, like, being able to do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. There was a cool part, well, not a cool part, gross part. Probably the most graphic part of that
When
movie
he
was...
quarters the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. I
Man,
wasn't
that was
expecting
hard to watch.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's like when he's like, well, I'm just going to hang him. I'm like, I can deal with that. And then he's like, and then quarter him or gut him or something. I was like, oh, man, why? Like, this is... Like, what are you trying to prove?
I don't know, I like the brother. He just felt like it was like collateral damage. They're like,
and like the fact that they were like
we're
genuinely
not crazy about your brother, so we're gonna take you.
Yeah, and when they were genuinely like, I don't know where he is.
Yeah,
they didn't. Yeah. That's what I felt so bad about. I was like, they genuinely don't know where he is.
What I did find out after was the guy, the old guy who's there in that scene, is Simon Fraser.
Like
the Simon Fraser.
What?
Yeah. So it's the brother, and then there's an old guy, and like they're together, and they're like, don't tell him anything or whatever. The other guy that's there, that's Simon Fraser. He's like Sir Simon Fraser.
The one that doesn't die.
Yeah, he doesn't die.
Right. Oh, okay. Yep. Weird. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Goes on to be do big things.
Yeah.
Like name part.
A university.
Yeah.
He discovered Vancouver. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think he died in a valley and they named it after him.
Yeah, right.
No, they didn't.
No, I think that's how it happened.
I don't know.
No, but yeah, that was such a gross. They like hang him and then they just like, rip him out, and he's like sort of spinning around, and they sort of do like a half shot where you can kind of see stuff spilling out of him. Ugh. I was like, oh, I can't handle this.
Yeah. Yeah, yuck.
Yeah, is there anything else? You see Chris Pine's wiener at one point? It's kind of dark and you don't really see it, but...
Jill got really excited. I was like, is that his real wiener or is it his a body double?
I don't know. I
don't know.
I told her about
also thought they made him look chubby in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he has his shirt off and you're like, he's not chubby. Like, he's in good shape. But he's like clearly trying to make himself look chubby.
I think they were trying to make him look unattractive.
Yeah,
if you look
but they like make him stick his belly out too, and it's like it's kind of weird. I get it.
How the clothes hang off of him.
Yeah.
If you like look up a picture of Robert the Bruce, like I did, I was like, oh, I want to see how close this is. He's not a good-looking guy.
Okay, so
he's got like
being named Robert the Bruce really does have an effect on his looks.
You're going like,
like this is how I expect you to look.
So I think they definitely tried to make like because Chris Pine's obviously a good-looking guy, but they definitely tried to ugly him up. I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Nice.
Yeah, that was Twin Speaks. First watch, first listen of Outlaw King, starring Chris Pine
and other people.
I'm not going to go through it all. If you made it this far, like email us or something. Like our email is twinspeakspod@gmail.com.
Maybe we'll do fan mail, or not if you don't even consider yourself a fan. Maybe just acquaintance emails.
Go like, hey,
that's our new segment: reading acquaintances or pen pals and us.
Oh, I like that.
Pen pals and us.
What else?
We'll be your pen pal.
Yeah,
that's our new segment.
We're on Instagram now at Twin Speaks Pod, I think is what it is.
I think we're more active on Instagram.
Yeah.
As most people are on Instagram.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It suits us better, I think.
Yeah.
So add us there, follow us or whatever. Is there anything else? Cool. Thanks for listening. We'll try and, I think the next one we're going to do is Buster Scuggs.
Yeah.
The Netflix one. And, I don't know. Go from there. Cool.
This ain't over. Ma,
Bye.
can I have a cookie?